Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Football Analysis and Rant Show. And today's topic is regarding one of the most informed, if not the most informed teams, arguably one of the, let's say, the best teams this season, even though it's quite early in the season.
We are halfway through, sir. I think it's fair.
So
You're just a Bayern fan coping, aren't you? You're just a Bayern fan coping.
if you think we are talking about some big team, no. We are not talking about your Real Madrid, your Bayern, your Man City, no. We are talking about a team which nobody expected to be this good. We are talking about none other than Bayer Leverkusen.
Yay.
More commonly known as Neverkusen.
Hey, see, now this is definitely the Bayern fan side. You're talking.
So, yeah, if you don't know, Bayer Leverkusen is a team that was founded in 1904 by the employees of Bayer Pharmaceuticals. So it is against the traditional football club that is in Germany, like in which fans are the founders of the club and fans own a majority stake of the club. It is one of the very few clubs in Germany that is owned and operated by a multinational company, the other being Wolfsburg and Hoffenheim. The reason that Wolfsburg and Leverkusen had actually been granted that is because these companies owned and operated these teams before the 50+1 rule became a thing, and also the fact that the company's employees, which as working class people, are actually the members and they own the club also, so they were given a special exemption to that. So coming to our point, Leverkusen were actually a very mediocre team. They were lingering in the bottom leagues, region leagues of the German football until 1979 when they got promoted. But ever since that, they have stuck to the top tier. From earlier, they would have been trying to survive relegation from till the point they were title contenders, and regularly they're finishing in the top half of the season. And I think their peak they reached was in the 2001-2 season. Yes. So that time they had so many big players like Lucio, Michael Ballack, and that was when the term Neverkusen came to be a reality. It was the biggest example why they call it.
Okay.
Leverkusen had the opportunity of winning a treble over the space of 1 month. Not even 1 month, over the space of 3 weeks. And they lost every single game.
I've heard of this.
Yes.
The triple runners up.
Yes.
I was reading an article in the research for this and I'm like, oh my god. Talk about rotten luck. It's like Arsenal level bottling. Arsenal or Dortmund. Dortmund also a serial bottler.
See, if you think Spurs, Dortmund or Arsenal, nobody holds the beard against Leverkusen. The amount of times this team has reached a final and lost, you can't even count it. I'll tell you, the only trophies that they won was UEFA Cup and a DFB Pokal Cup. The last trophy they won was in 1985. They've only won 2 trophies. They have finished runners-up at least 9 times in the league.
That's just sad. At some point, you just...
Coming to the 2002 season, they lost the league by, I guess, goal difference or 1 point. I'm not sure exactly. I think it's goal difference 2.
That is the single worst way.
Yes. That too, they lost it in the last match day.
Hurts.
Go to the Champions League. They were I know that Real Madrid won and all, but if you would have watched the game and if you would have seen the pre and post match press conference, even the Real Madrid managers and even the players knew that the Leverkusen team was in far more form. They were actually better and they actually dominated the game. It took an individual masterclass from Zinedine Zidane. Those 2 goals, if you have seen that, that one volley he hit is considered one of the best goals of all time.
Yep.
And if you bar those 2 goals, Leverkusen dominated the game, but they still choked. Yeah, now coming to this, what makes this year different? So this year, if you look at the stats, Leverkusen, after 18 games, have 48 points. This is the best start by any team in the Bundesliga ever since its inception.
Interesting.
Yes, this beats the Bayern team that won the treble in 2013. That team ended up finishing 91 points. And this team is on track to beat that record. If it goes like this.
Well, a different kind of trouble because they're not
Yes.
in the Champions League. I think they're Europa League this season, no?
Yes, they are in the Europa League. And also adding to that, another tactical overview I'll say is like this team in the last 11 years, only Bayern has almost, even when Dortmund won also, Bayern has almost had the largest possession of ball in the league. This is the only time that someone else is there. The last time it happened was when Werder Bremen won the league.
This was before my father was born.
No.
When was this?
This was when Werder Bremen, Ozil used to play for Werder Bremen, 2008-9 season.
Oh, that's far enough.
That's
Not
far enough.
Too far ago.
Yeah.
This seems like one of those history lessons that people are like, no. Queen's Park races is
Yeah.
the main thing. It sounds like that, but it's not that far ago.
See, it's not even because Bayern are that bad. Bayern basically lost only 2 games so far this season. This is not in any measure a very bad start of the season.
True.
It's just because Leverkusen is genuinely like very, very good. It's a bunch of young and old players. Like if you look at the squad right now, they have actually built a team. See, if you look at a conventional Bundesliga team, they will have a very good players for one season and they are immediately poached. Next season they have to rebuild. Every season there will be a rebuild. So
almost like anything mid-table. No,
anything mid-table,
top
anything.
3, I think.
Yes, anything other than Bayern, I'd say.
True.
Even Dortmund, they can only keep that team for 2 years
At the most. True.
at the most. After that, they'll sell off, then they again rebuild. So that is the reason, no team is able to consistently challenge. So when they start building something up, they are not able to continue that project. The last time it happened was when Jurgen Klopp coached Dortmund, and it actually bear fruit.
True.
They end up beating Bayern both times, and they even reached the final of the UCL. So I can see the same thing that is happening right now also with Leverkusen. Xabi Alonso took over Leverkusen when they were in a relegation battle. Okay, I mean with some 16 games, he managed to take them all the way to sixth. They were 100% getting relegated if he would have not come. And to add to that, he was able to convince the owners. Yeah, he wanted to say something.
No. You were saying that if he would have not come, they would have got relegated. Actually, when he joined, people still didn't believe that they would make it out of relegation. People were surprised. Why is this man joining here after?
Yeah.
And I think he was coaching the Real Sociedad B team or something at
Yes.
that point. And then he switched over to this side. First, people were doubters, and then they were like, "Why is he leaving the B team to come here?" And next, they are like, "Okay, the team is of that bad quality that they're competing with Real Sociedad. B team manager is coming here and all." And generally, it did make sense for anyone who was watching football or following or analyzing football at that time. But it makes a lot of sense in hindsight now because of what he's done. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so he took that team from relegation, he took them to Europa League. Okay, then everybody thought, okay, they'll be in and around there. That's like a one-off season. This guy managed to convince the board to keep the core team. Although they did sell one of their best players, Moussa Diaby, Karim Demirbay. So some of these players went. But they ended up using that money, especially the Moussa Diaby money. They invested smartly. They brought in players like Granit Xhaka, for experience. And also the fact that players like Florian Wirtz was injured most of the season. He came back. And also they had the likes of Patrick Schick. He actually revived Patrick Schick's career. It was going downhill. So he was
the Euros, I think.
Since the Euros, yes. And also players like Alejandro Grimaldo. So a lot of smart signings were there happening. So he was building a team in which he had already built up a base. So the base team was there. And still people were doubtful. Because last year also Dortmund had quite a decent team. Although I'd say it was basically who choked better. That's if I look at that last year's game. And it ended up in goal difference. Dortmund lost in goal difference. And also, given the history of Leverkusen, people had doubts.
True.
So, when the season started, we're like, there will always be one team that will always be like, in the beginning of the season, they'll be good. So, this time it was Stuttgart and Leverkusen. So, both were in very good form. They won their first 5 matches. And Bayern actually drew one game against Leipzig.
Yeah.
So Bayern were actually chasing the pack. So they're like, this will slow down. Eventually Stuttgart did slow down. They actually dropped a bit back. And Leipzig came thoda up. But Leverkusen, they just kept on going.
They didn't stop.
Leverkusen
never stopping.
I will give you a very interesting... coming to a statistical analysis. So I'll just put out some insane stats. Okay? Bayer Leverkusen have the second highest expected goals, and they have the least what you call, they have considered the least goals in the entire league, only 14 goals conceded. And also they have the highest possession share in the league, just behind Bayern. And also they have the highest shots per game, 18.4 shots per game. Yes. So which means they are not scraping also. They are scoring and winning games.
Yeah.
Okay. And coming to the most important thing, they have not lost a game so far in the season. Mind you, this is a team that is playing 3 competitions. This is not... We were talking about Girona, but Girona was actually competing only in the league.
True.
They did get knocked out of the cup also.
Yes.
This team, in their Europa League group, they have not lost a single game. They have scored 18 goals in total. They have absolutely demolished. If you look at the Pokal also, they have thrashed every single team that has come in their way, and they are in the quarterfinals right now. If you look at the league also, they have beaten Leipzig over both legs 3-2. And also, they drew with both Bayern and Dortmund. Don't look at that draw also. I will tell you, Leverkusen was the best team in both those games. They just lost because they had konjam bad luck.
The goals say they scored 50 goals this season.
Yes.
And that's only in the league.
Yes.
Wild, man.
Yes. The only reason that they're not being talked about is because they're not considered a traditional powerhouse. So that's why this is going on. This is like absolutely remarkable. If you think Leicester City was something big, this is also I would say it's up to there as well.
No, I think this is bigger. No, but okay.
The argument here is they are trying to dethrone a team that has been that has been championed for 11 years, has the highest financial power and also the reputation of everything.
True, and they're getting the bigger players also. Harry Kane left.
Yes.
Go on.
This is despite Bayern not being bad also. I understood if it was last season, Bayern were very bad last season. They're not quite that bad this year also. Obviously there are problems in the squad, but people actually had a doubt that Leverkusen will bottle when the AFCON starts, because they have a significant number of players playing in the AFCON, including their strikers. Both Victor Boniface and Jeremy Frimpong left. But they didn't choke. The last two games, they had injury time winners. People thought, they're going to choke. This team has some insane fighting spirit, which was lacking in Dortmund last year. That is why I say this could be the year that Bundesliga could finally have a new champion after 11 years.
Do you genuinely believe it though?
I do believe it. It is possible. Genuinely believe. Because despite so many players, despite players being injured, players being missing, the others are stepping up.
True.
Everybody in the team is contributing. It's not a single superstar. I know they have Florian Wirtz, Grimaldo, Boniface, all in good form. But still, it's not a single person. The whole team is there. So if one person goes, there's another person to step up. The best part is they have a very strong bench also.
True.
And also the fact that they have brought in some old players, let's say Granit Xhaka, for example.
He was on a free, no? Xhaka? Did they have to pay?
No, they did pay one. Yeah.
Okay.
He was Arsenal's captain also. People didn't expect much. This guy has transformed all these players. Even the older players like Schick, he has transformed how they play. Now I'll just get into how they've been playing, like their tactical. So Alonso uses a 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 formation with 3 central defenders, 2 wing backs, 1 or 2 central midfielders, and 3 or 2 forwards. So his game is like very focused on width and depth, as well as defensive cover. So the wing backs actually play a very important role. That's where like Jeremy Frimpong comes in and Alejandro Guimaraes. That's why they're very involved in the goal scoring. And also he likes to dominate the ball. And he likes to play through the lines also. And one great thing is that I told you earlier, there's a thing called relationalism. So he is using a pseudo version of this, in which like almost every player can play everywhere, including the defenders. Imagine the defenders, Jonathan Tah. He used to be a meme. Imagine how he's playing right now.
So is Granit Xhaka.
Yes.
They bought him for 25 million apparently. I just looked it up.
Yes.
He transferred from Arsenal to Leverkusen for 25 million.
That is the Diaby money.
No, the point is why would someone pay 25 million for a player who was 30, 31 at that time? And Xhaka, maybe he was important for Arsenal, maybe he wasn't, but I don't think he was a 25 million worth important player for Arsenal for them to move. But that gamble did pay off.
Yes. I have a reason for it.
Yes.
See, in the last season, actually, Granit Xhaka was having one of his best season in the Prem.
Okay, on a personal level.
On a personal level, his best season. Arsenal didn't win the league, but nobody expected Arsenal to be title contenders against such a good City team.
True. That too for that long.
Yes. And the thing is, this team actually needed a senior, experienced player. And also the fact that Xabi Alonso has played against or has seen this player for a long time. During when he used to even in UCL days or when he used to play in the Prem, he has known this player. He has been monitoring this player for a long time. Apparently, he was asking since last year. He wanted him in January, but Arsenal not willing him to go.
True.
So if you look at like this, yes, he coming to Jonathan Tah, he was not that great. If you've seen if you've seen our previous videos, about talking about Germany in general, I used to rant about Jonathan Tah, Antonio Rudiger at one point.
Rudiger is still bad, sir. I will never change my mind, sir. Go on.
Yeah. So that is the tactical analysis of the game. And coming to the defense, as I said earlier, they've considered only 14 goals in the league. This is they use a system called mixed marking. It's like a different type of zonal marking.
Okay.
Mixed marking, again, it has to do with there is no certain player let's say earlier traditional zonal marking. So each player will have a zone, he has to defend that zone. In this, even there also there is an exchange of players that is happening there. So you have to be ready to defend any zone. So that is why this team it works like some sort of well-oiled machine right now. So even if there is a small there is a repair for that. I think that's pretty much it about the tactical analysis and the statistical section, and we already discussed regarding the brief history also. Now coming to the main thing, will they win or not? What do you say?
I think based on how Bayern is going, and Bayern is not playing bad by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe they are playing bad, but it's not as bad as previous years.
Yes.
What we have to take into account especially is, I think for the last 10 years, 8 years or something, it's not that Bayern have had more points at this stage in the season. It was around this 40-45-ish mark. So this season also they are 44 or something.
Yes.
It's just that this year they have a team that is just not losing at all. So it's not that Bayern is doing worse, it's just that somebody else is doing better.
Yes.
So Bayern was that benchmark that people had to hit or cross to win the league.
Yeah.
The problem is now that benchmark has been raised, that standard has been raised higher.
Yeah.
And Bayern with its, I don't want to call it complacency, but they're just used to that. Or it's technically not bad per se. And before hitting the record button, we were talking about Tuchel getting the sack. And Jitu said, I don't have any hope for the league this year. He has to either win the Champions League or do some other thing because they're already out of the Pokal. So
Yes.
the only other option is the Pokal.
Again,
Which is
second
the
time. For
CL, the UCL, sorry. So, it's not that they are doing a bad job, but I think the Werder Bremen game, what is the game they lost recently?
Against Werder Bremen, yes.
So the Tuchel said something very spectacular. I know football managers are used to saying wild stuff, but this guy came out in the press conference and said, we didn't deserve to win. I'm like, acceptable. Okay,
Yeah.
you can say that when you're frustrated. Man goes on to say, the training was very good. All of these players performed at very good levels in the training. But I don't know what happens in the game. Which manager on earth, after losing, comes out in a press conference and says, I don't know what happened to the players. Like sometimes when you're extremely frustrated, the managers can end up blaming the players.
Yeah.
But this was a harsh loss. You either back your team up and just appreciate the other team or something of that sort.
Yeah.
This man appreciated the other team, said the players are good, and then proceeded to throw shade. So, Tuchel is never a man who's going to stay at any place for long. So I don't think he's going to stay at Bayern also for very long.
Yeah.
But if he gets sacked by the end of the season, that would be astonishing even for me. But based on how results are going now, and according to a hardcore Bayern fan opinion, he doesn't believe that they might win.
I'll give you a context now. See, the current points that Bayern is on, it is enough to be there is a thing called let's say autumn champions.
Yes. What was that pronunciation we looked up? Herbstmeister.
Herbstmeister. Sorry for asking. So it's basically like halfway champions, through 17 games or 18 games. Who is the most points? So the points that Bayern has is enough to be that in every of the last 11 title winning seasons.
Yep.
But they are not. They are not top.
Yes.
So it's not bad. The only season that is below this is actually the season in which they won the treble. Like not the recent one, in 2013 one. Even the recent treble is below that start is lower than this start. So that's testament to how good Leverkusen have been. I said they've been unbeaten. You can go and say they've only drawn 3 games. They've only drawn 3 games in the entire season.
No, I'll just look up the stats of how many games they've played. Obviously, they've played 18 in the league.
Yes.
Okay, they've played 18 games in the league.
Yes.
And in the Pokal, they've played 3 games. So that's 21 games. Europa League, they've played 6 games. So that's 27 games if my math is correct. So 27 games and they've not lost any is actually commendable.
They've lost through only 3 games. They won 25 games. Sorry, they won 24 games.
Wild.
That is like at least above 80% win rate.
Wow. The Pokal thing, look at this. Matches 3.
Yeah.
Goals scored 16.
Yes.
16.
Yes.
What in the Bayern shit is going on there?
Yes. I'll tell you, the only low scoring matches, recently, is because most of their players have gone for AFCON. But still they're managing to win.
Yeah, they somehow scrap it together.
Other is maybe when they played against Bayern or Dortmund. That is the only game in which they have scored less than 3 goals.
Yeah, even Leipzig you said 3-2 wins.
Yes.
Interesting. How should I say this? Getting back to, do you genuinely think that Bayern is going to lose and we'll have new champions? Like you actually believe it 100%?
Right now, I believe so.
Okay.
The only thing that could change my mind is if Bayern beats Leverkusen in February.
Okay, and how likely do you think that is going to happen?
Given the current situation at Bayern, I don't see the thing with Bayern, they'll have a few string of wins, they'll play well. Suddenly, unexpectedly, they lose. So they are inconsistent. Earlier seasons, they could have been possible, but not against this team.
No, and it's wild to think that he's calling a champion Bayern team an inconsistent team, but that is the truth.
Yes.
Even for a team that good, and through the years also they've been so good, but that is true. They would have these random surprise losses to Gladbach or some random 4th division team or some nonsense like that.
We lost in the Pokal to a 2nd division team for the 2nd time in the row.
I don't want to talk about it. The DFB Pokal is a wild competition. Your EFL Cup, FA Cup ain't got shit on this. And neither have the Copa del Rey or whatever other cup that they play there. So, in my opinion, I think there will come a time when Bayer Leverkusen will lose. But I don't think it'll be enough to stop them from winning.
Yes.
At least so far.
Yes.
And I haven't watched many games. I watched like 3 games, so total of the 18 they've played so far. And that too 3 I watched because I was jobless.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that this team is doing well.
Yeah.
And then the hype started building and I never got time to watch it. But then I would regularly stay back and watch highlights on YouTube or on whatever else that it comes on.
Yeah.
And like Bundesliga is always, how should I say this? It's faster paced with good
full goals.
Yeah, with technique.
Yeah.
There's one thing that I always don't like about the Premier. It's fast paced. It's physical. It's all of that attributes that you say. But at the end of the day, it's like, how should I say? It's
rugby.
It's too much. Where is the football there? It's a stamina competition. It's a running competition. It's a pushing competition.
Wrestling match.
Like, I'm not saying technique is less because in that instant you have to pull out that technique. You have to have that vision. I appreciate the technical level of the players who play there.
Yeah.
But I genuinely, honestly, in my heart, believe that La Liga plays better football.
Yeah.
La Liga is much slower. They take their time on the ball, pass it and all that. But football as football in La Liga is much better in my opinion.
Yeah.
Premier League is entertainment.
Yeah. True.
And Bundesliga compared to that is also fast paced, but it doesn't feel any less of football.
Yes.
You can see that when they're required to slow down, they will slow down.
Yeah.
When they're required to speed up, they will speed up.
Yeah.
You will see new talent emerging. You will see them grow and all of that.
Yeah.
And you rarely have players in or managers in the Bundesliga or La Liga saying we are burned out and we are out like Klopp did.
I'll tell you one key point. See, if you there's a key difference between Prem and Bundesliga. See, if you look at the Bundesliga, only the bottom 3 teams will actually park the bus. Every single team in the top 10, even if they score a goal, they will keep trying for goals. Like it's more like very open. That's why you see lot of high scoring games. And that is the reason Bundesliga, if you look at goals per game, over the last, let's say 20 years, Bundesliga has the highest goals per game of any of the top 5 leagues. So you don't see like teams scoring and sitting back as much. Obviously, the relegation threatened teams, they will do that because they are struggling to score. So they will hang on to things. But teams, let's say in the top 10, even the top 10 teams, they will want to score. Even if it's against Bayern or Dortmund, any of the top 3 teams also, they will try to score more goals. They will not sit back. The sit back only will happen if like maybe let's have after 80 minutes, which is actually normal. You can understand they're trying to go for the win. So when you look at the Prem, you see that shit very more often. Even that some of the teams in the top 6 or like the traditional big 6 teams have been known to do this thing.
Our last video is already doing bad, so I don't want to mention names of clubs. But you know who you are. You know who you are. We've been calling you out for almost 4 years now.
Yeah.
You clubs know who you are, who are parking the bus despite being a big club. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we were going off topic. What we were talking about? Bayer Leverkusen's chance of winning the league.
Okay, so that's what I was saying. Because Prem is a much more physical and all of that. At some point, there'll be that burnout.
Yeah.
There will be a fall off.
Yeah.
Hopefully, for these bigger teams, it happens during that extreme December period.
Yeah.
And after that, even if they fall off, they have their chance of recovery in the next 4 months.
Yeah.
Bundesliga doesn't. I'm not saying that players don't feel burnout in other leagues. I'm definitely not.
I completely agree with this. See, Bundesliga is actually one of the most friendlier league to the players, mainly to the fact that they have a less number of teams in the top division, only 18 teams. So each team plays 4 less matches compared to every other top 5 leagues, excluding League One because they just recently reduced the number of teams. And also there's a period called winter break in which there is no match happens. Okay, and there are only like 2 or 3 times in the season in which a team has to play 2 matches in a week.
Yeah.
And also the fact that Bundesliga doesn't have an additional cup competition like EFL Cup. I don't know why they still have that cup, but still they don't have that.
Yeah, even Spain has no Super Copa something nonsense.
Yeah, so if you look at every other league, Bundesliga has less teams playing much less games and there are much less midweek fixtures. So you are right, the chance of burnout is much lesser.
So that brings me to a point that even if Bayer Leverkusen end up losing a game or at the most 2 games even 3-4 games, they have a chance to consistently keep hitting the levels that they are hitting right now.
Yeah.
Neither the manager will be as burned out as the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Neither will the players be as burned out. And
Yeah.
the fan support is always there. Germany is known for its mad fan support. So, provided Bayern keep dropping points here and there, and Leverkusen don't lose too many games, because I'm 100% sure they will lose at least one game. It's not possible. Like 2004 Arsenal's, whatever.
What if they went on to get the golden Bundesliga shield?
That's not happening. Sir. I assure you that's not happening. In this day and age, it's not possible. That Arsenal team in 2004 that went invincible also, they drew so many games. People don't talk about it.
15 draws, I guess.
Yeah, so they might have gone the whole season undefeated. But at what cost?
True.
At what cost? You might have gone the whole season undefeated.
Yeah.
But so can every other team. Put 11 players in the box. Who is going to score from where?
True.
So entertainment and all of that go out of the factor. So it's very likely that, and I would love to see a fairy tale like this.
Yeah.
And after 11 years of domination, I think it will be a rude wake-up call to Bayern to say,
yes,
put your house in order, because they fired their 2 club legends.
Yes.
And then they got someone new guy.
Complacency, like it is catching up. Like right now, like they're like, okay, anyway, others they will Dortmund will keep on choking. They'll keep finishing second. Nobody will challenge. Leipzig also to some extent. Yeah, they'll be happy with winning the cup. They'll also be like give up at some point. Like, okay, we'll anyway win the league. So we can be complacent like that.
And we have to realize that people don't realize this.
Yeah.
I am not saying these competitions that I'm going to name, I'm not diminishing them in quality by any means.
Yeah.
Any of your league cups, any of your other cups, the UCL, the World Cup, any of these are shorter tournaments.
Yeah.
Staying consistent for 38 game weeks, 38 match days, and putting out and grinding out the results to win the league is much harder than people get credit for. Much harder.
True.
Because Real wins so many titles together, it feels normal to them.
Yeah.
Because Bayern wins so many titles together, it feels normal to them.
Yeah.
Because City and United won so many titles together, that feels normal to them. But you think about it, 38 game days. Assume there's only one game per week. That's 38 weeks in a year, doing the same thing over and over again, no matter what your opposition is, and getting that result is so hard.
Yeah, this is along with playing additional competitions other than this.
Exactly, and it's so mad. Think about the manager. He has to cope up with his personal life, his new environment, the players, their egos, their nonsense. Player gets injured, he has to figure out a tactical change.
Yeah.
And all of that. Because of that, it's, how should I say this? I think it's about time that this is one factor, that winning the league is much harder, and they've done it for 11 years.
Yeah.
Which means Bayern has maintained a standard.
Yeah.
But like he said, the competition has not been able to touch them so far.
Yeah.
Sometimes Dortmund does give them a push, but eventually they bottle it.
It again comes to that point I said, like when they build a good team and they challenge 1 year, the next year that team is gone. Half the squad is sold.
You can pull the mic closer to
you. So the competition is gone. So that keeps on repeating. So Bayern will not have a team that is consistently challenging them for like more than 1 year.
True.
So they're like, okay, we'll just do enough to win the league. Enough, that's done. That's our minimum objective. So it has come to a state that winning the league is not a...
It's a default thing. They're like, winning the league is there. Other than that, what are you
It will
going to
not
do?
guarantee that a manager is going to stay also. You win the league, it's not that. That is why the Tuchel situation is now very, very messed up.
It's very interesting also. They fired Nagelsmann for him. Nagelsmann took up the Germany job.
Yes.
I don't want to get it. We were talking about their chances. So I'm not diminishing any of these 5 competitions that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But winning the league is much harder.
Yeah.
So this year, let's say Leverkusen does win. Maybe Bayern will sit up and take notice that yes, we have been winning it for so long. And it's not like they're doing worse than they did in the previous years. They're doing it almost the same level.
Yeah.
But they'll realize that they have to do something different now.
Yeah.
If they lose, they'll realize, okay, it came naturally to us.
Yeah.
We did get the same amount of points at this stage that we did get last year. But somehow it's not working, which means we have to do something different.
Yeah.
And that something different could be changing their identity, how they play football, getting a different manager, getting newer players.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll shift out this core of players, get newer players.
Yeah.
There could be so many things that happen, and it's very interesting to see the stage at which Bayern is now, because it's very
True.
confused. It's in a chaos kind of, and people don't talk about it enough. And this will define what Bayern is going to be for the next maybe 15-20 years.
True.
What happens this season and the season after.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So all of us have to take note and see what is going to happen here, because we have been demolished by this club and our club is still in ruins from that day. So it matters what happens. You might think one game, one season, one player, two managers, what is going to happen.
Yeah.
But it does affect a club's identity for the long term.
Yeah.
So this Bayer Leverkusen team could be that thing that either makes or breaks Bayern.
And
Hot take.
yeah, and it's not the first time it's happening. It happened. There was Dortmund. Dortmund came out of nowhere and they won 2 straight titles. They disrupted the whole hierarchy. And Bayern went trophyless for one season. That saw one of the most radical changes that you ever seen. They came out like mad dogs. I'd say, I know 2020 Bayern is something, but I'd say that team was the best I have ever seen. Because they not only beat teams, they absolutely demolished. I'd say, see, 2020, I'd say by that time that let's say the teams like Real, Barca, United, all these like traditional teams, like they were not at that their like peak performance. But 2013, these were all good teams. They were full good teams, and this team went through everything, and they won the treble. This is after losing 3 consecutive, like going trophyless the year after. So as a fan, I think they should lose the league.
They get that
rude wake-up call. So that the fans will protest, they will demand changes, and they need to realize like this will not last forever. Of course, financial money is this, but there will come some point where, let's see, Leipzig have been growing throughout the years. Okay, they are also owned by, like, even though they abide by 50+1 rule, even though everybody knows it's daylight, like they are owned by Red Bull Group. And also there are teams like Leverkusen, which is owned by like billion-dollar companies. Teams like Wolfsburg also. So once they start like investing, so this could go down. I'd say even though Bayern is like one of the like biggest earning clubs in the world, they're still a fan-earned club.
True.
So they have to rely on commercial revenue, TV rights, all these things.
And pleasing the fans at the end of the day.
Yes. So it's very interesting. So what they do. And coming back to the topic.
No, so that is what I'm telling you. This Bayer Leverkusen team.
Yeah.
Last time Bayern did something good and they came back.
Yeah.
But it's not always guaranteed that people will make the right decisions.
Yeah.
So this season of what Bayer Leverkusen is going to do.
Yeah.
Is going to rattle some feathers. Is going to cause some earthquakes in different places.
Yes. I'd say if they win the league, like some big changes will come. Not only at Bayern, I'd say big changes in Dortmund, Leipzig, even the likes of Mönchengladbach, all these traditional teams. There will be radical changes happening.
And I think that the league needs it now. After getting slandered for so long, a new champion and radical changes is exactly what that league needs.
Yeah.
It needs that fresh injection of new ideas, new identities to push it forward. Yeah. Because I am telling you, I watched French league games. Garbage. Garbage. I don't care who says what. Absolute trash. I don't know what happens there. People will be like, I just stay, dude. I don't understand what that league is. I watch the Prem.
Yeah.
And I do like watching the Premier League. But like I said, more than football, for me, it's more about the entertainment that league provides.
Yeah.
And I watch the La Liga. I'm a La Liga fan. And I still think it's a very good league. But Bundesliga has that perfect mixture of having the football technicality and the entertainment. It's beautiful to watch.
The broadcast. I'd say
their admin, dude, their Instagram admin, their YouTube admin, absolute gold.
Yes.
Gold.
Yes. Now, the thing is, the only thing that is preventing like more people from viewing the Bundesliga is, sadly to say, is because Bayern is winning every year. If you look at that, if you just leave the champion part out of it, it is one of the most competitive leagues. Like there is no regular top 6, nothing like that. Everybody, even the likes of Dortmund will go down. They finish lower.
Oh.
So that is there, and also the brand of football each team plays, how they broadcast games, the commentary, all these things. It is up to there with the Prem. If I'd say This is me because I've been watching it for a long
No,
time.
I genuinely think it's better. The quality of football, the broadcasting,
Yeah.
their reviews, how much they cater to the fans. In India, sadly, that fan code nonsense exists.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's more affordable for the fans to go watch.
Yeah.
It's more affordable for the fans to stream.
Yeah.
I genuinely
Very cheap.
say the slander that the Bundesliga gets is not worth it.
Yeah.
You might be wondering why we are talking all this garbage for Leverkusen. We are saying that one team winning after so many years,
Yeah.
a change is going to impact that league that much.
Yeah.
Just to that one change. Champion, not this person, this person.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we're not only talking about the change that one team winning is going to get to the league.
Yeah.
The way that this team is playing right now is
Yes.
what will draw more eyeballs.
Yes.
It's genuinely beautiful football.
It is not like they're like some random story. Like it's because like it's not because all other teams are playing that bad also.
True.
The teams at Leipzig are playing decent. Like they see until they lost to Leverkusen, they were in like some 5 or 6 match winning streak, and they lost. Dortmund are also there, so these teams are in and around. It's just this team is like too good. That's the only explanation I say. And coming to like I know we summarized the whole thing right now, but we did forget about one key person, the manager.
Let's go.
Yes. So Xabi Alonso. So we did mention earlier he came from Real Sociedad B team. I think before that he was coaching Real Madrid's academy, and nobody expected like zero experience, nothing. He just let there be like another former player turned manager.
Yeah, we've seen Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard,
Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney. Don't talk about it. At least Lampard
no
is
offense as
better.
a player, but yeah, as a manager, no, definitely no.
I'd rather not. I'm a huge Steven Gerrard fan.
Yeah.
I'd still rather not have him at Liverpool.
Yeah. So Xabi Alonso's father was he's like one of the legends in Barcelona, if I'm not wrong. Yep. He won like 2 or 3 consecutive league titles in Barca, and so he has like football heritage. His father later turned into a coach, so this guy has been exposed to tactics and coaching. It's not like playing football alone. So this guy is like he's been exposed to so much information at a young age. He becomes a player. Okay, he plays for some of the biggest clubs. Like some of the other, he played for at least 4 of the like top 5 clubs of all time.
Yes.
He has played, and he has played under the top 3, some of the top 3 best managers of all time. At least the top 5. He has played under Carlo Ancelotti. He has played under Pep Guardiola, and he has played under Jose Mourinho also.
Yep. True.
So he has seen different extreme spectrums of how football has been played. He has been exposed. He has played under them. He has been captain under some of these teams. So this guy is not like people underestimate that thing.
Yes.
And also the fact that he came from he didn't went to straight away to some like a senior team club, like a proper professional club. He managed B teams under reserve times. He tried and tested. Then he came in. So this guy has ball knowledge. This guy, I will tell you, this guy is a proper genius.
No, and if you watched him play football, my God, was he a baller. He was so good.
Very humble, silent guy.
A very good, coming to his game, he's very aware. Positional awareness is brilliant. He's a very similar player to Javi more so.
Yeah.
Like he reads the game very well. It's not about how physically he exerts himself, how much he imposes himself on his opponents.
Yeah.
His positional awareness, his vision, how he gives his pass is impeccable, among the best I've seen.
Yes.
And I'm a midfielder fan. I'm not a forward fan. I'm not a defender fan. I'm a midfield fan, and I've studied so much about the game. Like I've actually studied the game.
Yeah.
Because I like watching midfielders and see what goes on in their mind. And Xabi Alonso is easily among the best. Easily.
Yes. Also, like if you look at even if it's trophy cabinet, also like he is like. If you look at that trophy cabinet, it's like some players dream to have that in. He won the Euros twice. He won the UCL. He won everywhere. I think he played. He won the league title also. So that's a career set. Also, he won the World Cup also. So done. His bucket list is completed.
Where is he going to mention the World Cup? I'm looking at
he has won everything. He has seen everything. He has been exposed to a lot of things. So this is not like your average legend coming back as a coach. This guy is genuinely good. And that is also the reason why. And also, all these players, they look up to this guy. Apparently, he is sort of like a father figure, and a father as well as brother figure, because he's a young manager.
This is like Jurgen Klopp shit.
Yes, like he's heavily motivational. And the best thing is you should see. I'll tell you, just go watch the game against Leipzig and the 1-0 game that they won like recently. I'll just check 1 second. Would you like to say anything before I just come to this thing?
He's going back to this thing, but like I know we have been going everywhere around this.
Yeah.
But it leads to that common topic that Leverkusen have been doing this well, doing that well, and all. So we are going. We finished the tactics. We talked about the game. We've talked about the league. We've talked about how it will impact everyone else.
Yes.
And we've come to the manager. We will talk about why this manager part is also important after he reads this out.
Yes.
Please go.
So the game was against Augsburg. So this is after the AFCON started, and a lot of their like forward line, like forward, and their one of their fullbacks is also missing. So it was 0-0 until the injury time, 90+4. Okay. This they kept on trying. Okay, I know they're more, even if they're star players, 24 shots compared to 3, 6 on target.
In their defense, I think Augsburg is not that good,
sir. Even if that was the Augsburg, I'll tell you, they are the best bus parking side in the Bundesliga.
Hey.
Even though it is there, but they are the like that.
Jose Mourinho.
So many people thought, okay, they're gonna choke. 90+4, find a winner. Next game again, Leipzig also 90+4, find a winner. So they have that fighting spirit, and you should see how this guy is motivating the players. Of like, he's not like this. Like, I'd not say like exactly like Klopp is like the energetic
pumped up guy.
Pumped up guy. He's not like that, but he is. He talks like to the point. He is like, you won't see that much expression, but you can see his happiness. You can see how much proud he is.
He's calm. He's like the middle ground between Carlo Ancelotti and Klopp.
Yes, like good features of both.
Yeah, the best of both worlds.
Okay, so again, this is purely based on what we have seen now, and we have all the right to say because that's how they have been playing. The second half of the season is still left. Like, there are like significant games to go. Also, as I said earlier, Bayern and Leverkusen game will be the decider most probably, unless Bayern chokes again and reduces point. But I don't think so.
But based on how it is going, I think there is at least 1-2 chokes left.
Yeah, one thing I can guarantee: this will be the highest points like title race. Like, even when Bayern Dortmund that time also, it was much lesser. At least 1 point, one team, at least I think, I have a strong feeling that it will be like close to 90, 89, that is. You might think that's low, but you have to take in the fact that Bundesliga has only 34 match days.
Yes.
So getting about 90 points is
wild.
Is as tough as scoring 100 points in, let's say, the Prem.
No, because you have to take into account, if it's 34 games, take
Yeah.
out 4 games.
Yeah.
Which means you have to win every single game to hit 90 points.
Yes.
Anything above 90 points means the remaining 4 games also you have to win.
Yes.
Which is wild.
Yes.
Imagine winning every single game you have to play. My God, I don't want to.
It has happened only once. That was in 2013. So this will be very high scoring. And even if you look at the third and fourth also, it will be best. If you compare this to last season is utter garbage. It was like who chokes more. First, second, third, fourth, everybody. Who is the biggest choker? This is like who is actually having the balls this time. Who is actually like willing to fight for it. Is it the old guard who wants to preserve their kingdom, or is it the new challengers who want to get that stereotype out of their name? That's how it is going to end. So I think that's pretty much sums up our review of Bayer Leverkusen. Hopefully they don't end up.
I promised you that I will tell you why the manager, this thing was important, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you because it was a good ending to the video. If you want to know more, please do tell us. We are planning on posting a lot of YouTube shorts or Instagram reels or whatever. I have written down why the manager is important, why talking about him was important.
Yeah.
But I will tell you only if you let me know.
So yeah, thank you for watching. Do subscribe, share our video. We will be bringing more videos. It will not be like our previous thing, as you've mentioned earlier. And we will try to bring in more content as often as possible. And do support us. We have been making videos since at least
2020.
Yes. So
inconsistently, but at least till 2020.
So it's almost around 3 to 4 years now.
Yeah. Like, we've been properly writing and talking properly maybe for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And like properly scripting and coming up with ideas beforehand, maybe in the last 1 year or so. But still, I think we have grown in strides, and our community and you have grown along with us as YouTubers, as podcasters, as medical professionals, because you might not know that, and as people. How you saw us back in 2020 is not how we are today. How we talk is different. How we think also is different. So thank you for being a part of our community. Thank you for being a part of our growth. And we will see you in our next video. Bye.
Bye-bye.